And welcome back to another Paul's Aquariums video. We have this awesome little desktop hydroponic tank. I know, lots of words. It is a curved glass 12-litre aquarium. It comes with a light. It comes with an area to put a plant, so you can actually grow a plant out of the top of the tank. The roots absorb all the nutrients in the water, so you've got that hydroponic system thing happening. It has a heater, it has a filter. It is glass, it is lovely. I have never seen one before, so we're gonna open this up, go through all the bits and pieces, and we're gonna aquascape it because aquascaping is the fun part. Let's get started and see what we get in this box. And every time we open up a tank, it is just like Christmas. I know. Half the fun is exploring what you get in the box. Oh, and there we go. We have, yep, it's pretty well packaged. We got polystyrene on the sides, top and bottom. Very little box, don't need you. And that is how it's all wrapped up. Oh, okay, we've got a big box. Looks like we've got our filter and stuff in there. We have a little box. I'm guessing that is some sort of transformer. Yep, that'll be the transformer for the light or filter or both. We're not entirely sure yet if they're both connected. And we have a little tiny heater. What else have we got? We have some little clips for a lid. So I'm suspecting, yep, there is a, you can get a plastic half lid on top. I'm guessing that's maybe some sort of film or something on that. We'll figure that one out, but I'm sure there'd be a film over that. Otherwise, it's a very hazy lid. We'll check that out. A plastic bag, another plastic bag, instructions, Bioscape Tropic Hydro Desktop Aquarium. Ooh, don't think we need that. That's why you're watching this video, because you don't need instructions. And that is the tank. Looks like one piece curved glass at the front, one bit at the back, and no glass down the bottom. That's interesting. So it is actually just siliconed onto this black base. That'd be really interesting to actually drill holes and have a sump in one of these, because you're not even drilling through glass. There we go. What's this piece of paper? Warning, don't do this. Warning, don't do that. There you go. You can not do those things if you don't want to do those things. Okay, now that we've got that, we will open all our bits and pieces and check the filter out. And just like that, all the things are out of the box. That is our filter. So that is pretty big, pretty chunky. And I think already it looks like there's a couple of different ways that this works. So I'm guessing, yep, there is a pump in the bottom. I'm not too sure how this is. That just slides off, this little grate. That is your pump, and I'm guessing this will just slide out. Just pulls off like that. Little tiny pre-filter. There'll be an electromagnet in this. This little cap comes off. There we go. Oh, my fingers are just way too big to get that out of there. Let's find a proper tool to use. A little bit of an overkill, but that is your electromagnet. So every second time you clean the pre-filter and all these filters, you want to clean the electromagnet, because that's going to build up with detritus, gunk, all that sort of stuff. And once that sort of seizes and clogs, that's going to stuff your whole electromagnet up. So always remember, if you've got a pump somewhere in your filtration, you are going to have an electromagnet, and it looks like that just pushes into there. So the little impeller always needs to be cleaned out, otherwise it's just not going to work. That seems to fit nice and neat like that. And that little bit just slots in, stops any fish from getting in there. And then that cord just goes up the top. So that is the basics of the filter. It looks like the water gets sucked through there, builds up, and then either goes through this bit, which I'm guessing it's the water level, or if you turn that off, the water's going to trickle down in there. So inside, it looks like we have just a standard cartridge. It's got carbon inside it with your foam. Obviously you can upgrade and you can add more biomedia in there if you want. But that is a pretty straightforward little filtration device. That just slots in like that, either either. Water gets pumped through there, into here, and then back in there. So I'm guessing, and you do get like a little bag like this, you actually get some little media balls that not only are those going to grow nitrifying bacteria, but they are also going to grow your plant. So I'm guessing this little bag goes in here with the media in it, and then you put your plant in there, and then that will just slot into that little compartment down there. So your plant will be growing out of there. Your water filtration will be your water will be getting filtered through that and go, and then trickle back in there. And if you don't want the water trickling down, you're going to have to water at the water level. That's pretty straightforward. If you don't want to use your plant in there, there is another lid, and I'm guessing it will just clip off somehow. Ah, it does. It just clips off like that. You don't use that little bag, and then you can clip in your new lid like that. So if you don't want a plant, you've just got a nice lid and nothing open. So yeah, if you've got crazy cats that like to destroy plants and get in fish tanks, that is going to stop that from happening. And I'm guessing the whole thing will just sit on the back like that. Okay, with our lid as well, we did have a protective film, not only on one side, but on both sides. There we go. That's what we wanted. We wanted a nice clear lid. So that is going to recess and sit in there. We've got our little tiny clips wherever we've lost them. There they are. So they will just clip on the side of the tank, and then that'll recess in. That is made of Perspex as well, so you're not going to break that. If you've got kids, cats, all that sort of stuff. Yes, those are the two main things that destroy fish tanks, kids and cats. Hello to any kids and cats watching this. That is not going to break super, super easy. So it's actually quite a nice looking lid. Apart from all those bits and pieces, we got a light. Looks like a high-powered LED light. Now this apparently pushes up underneath there. So the light comes from underneath the actual filter. So we're going to insert that into the filter soon. We've got our little tiny heater. Now I think with this heater as well, it's possible we can actually have it slotted down in the actual filter itself. So you're not going to see it in the tank. So I think we may figure that one out. It may even slot, no, it's not going to slot in there, but I think it's going to slot down in there. So anywhere under the water, I think that is the maximum, or that's the minimum water level there. So you want at least that much in the water. And it just looks like a little basic 25-watt heater. That obviously is our transformer for our light, and it just simply plugs in like that. Okay, we're going to assemble it now and then check out what it looks like. So now that we can see how big our tank looks with the filtration and the heater inside it, we're going to add our substrate layers, we're going to glue a whole lot of rocks together and make a cool aquascape. So one thing I did notice with this tank is there are two little gaps for the filtration in the back. So potentially little fish like guppies and endlers, tetras could get caught in the back of that if you have your water level all the way to the top. So because we're going to have a higher water level than probably what's recommended with this filtration system, we're going to cut a foam sheet to use as the background of our tank. So not only is this foam sheet going to grow moss and plants and sort of look a little bit more natural than just a plain back wall, but it's going to stop any little fish from getting into those little areas. So just keep in mind, either have a low water level or use a foam sheet like I have. So with the substrate, we're going to use, first layer is going to be laterite. So plant laterite is just a mineral that's going to help grow plants over time. We're going to top that off with some aqua earth, which is a clay-based medium, just made from volcanic ash that's been already heated up, so got rid of a lot of the organics. So we're going to do about a 5 centimeter layer on the bottom of this tank. So once we've got our 2 layers in like that, we're going to top it off with a little bit of sand. So we found a really, really nice grey sand. This is inert, so make sure whatever sand you're using is not going to raise your pH, because that's going to counteract what your substrates are going to do with your water quality. And welcome to the fun part. We're going to use this stuff, which is Dimax Compo Seal. So this is instead of using tissue paper to glue 2 rocks together. So what you'll need is that sort of stuff, or tissue paper. You'll need some sort of glue. This is just a Flora aquascaping glue. Any of the aquascaping glues that you can get is going to work. So you want the liquid aquascaping glue, not the sort of gel ones that you can get. And you need some rocks. We're going to get some of our Compo Seal, which is this fluffy stuff here. We're going to place it between 2 rocks, like potentially that one and that one. Now you should be wearing gloves for this. They keep telling me off at Dimax for not wearing gloves, but you want some sort of glue, and then you want to add your glue in between the two layers so it gets absorbed through the compost seal. So you're going to get smoke and stuff, as you can sort of see there. Don't breathe in the vapors. Ideally wear gloves. Obviously you need a well-ventilated area, so you can actually pack a little bit more of that compost seal between the two layers of your rocks. Make sure you wedge it in there. Probably use a wedgie type thing. There we go, there's a wedgie type thing there. And then a few more drops of this, and that will completely bond your two rocks together. So it will absorb, it'll smoke like you saw there. Don't breathe that in. And then you have two rocks joined. So all you need to do is repeat that process to make a cool rock structure. I think we're going to do something with like maybe 3 or 4 legs there, so it's sort of just under the water level, and then you can have enough area for the fish to swim through, but you've got this 3-dimensional thing for all your plants and stuff to attach on as well. So these are super, super strong once they are cured as well. You can pack as much compost seal as you want in there, but that was 2 tiny little bits. And if we break it, if we break it in half, yeah, it fully fuses the rock. So it actually broke the rock there, not the compost seal, which is kind of bizarre. Very easy to do, and if you do accidentally break it like that, you can just redo the whole thing all over again. Add more fluff, connect the rocks to that, a few drops of that, make sure you don't glue your hands to it. Once you see it smoking like you see there, that is crazy, isn't it? And there, they are back together. Very, very easy to do. There's a little bit of fluff there we missed on the other side. Let's just nuke that little bit of fluff. Once the rocks are wet as well, they're going to go that same sort of color, so you're not actually going to see any joins. Another way you can do it is you can add a little bit of dust from the rocks or some sand about the same sort of color while you glue it, and then that's just going to blend in your little gaps. But that is how you glue 2 rocks together. You can do the same thing with tissue paper, etc., etc., but the compost seal works super, super well. Anyone that's not watching in Australia, I'm pretty sure Dimax in America is going to have this stuff soon. So by the time this video gets out, there should be a few people in America that can get this stuff for you. Super cheap. I think this retails for like $7.95 Australian, which is like about $4, $5 American, something like that at the time of filming. There we go. How cool is that? So now that we've done that, we are going to join a whole lot of rocks and make a cool structure. And we have a super cool hardscape. It was very easy to make. I think this whole rock structure took about sort of 5-10 minutes at the most. Glued rocks together. All you have to do is just vaguely work out the size of your tank so that you can glue it outside the tank and then just slot it in like that. So super easy maintenance. You can take that whole structure out and still vacuum the gravel if you want to. But that is our rock work all sorted. Next thing we're going to do is fill it up with water. We're going to spend about a week adjusting our pH, which is the acid alkaline, and dechlorinate our water, and then we're going to start planting our tank. Okay, it's been a little bit longer than a week, so time has gotten away, and it's been roughly about 4 weeks since I've set this up. The filter is working perfectly. I've actually started cycling it fishless, which has been putting a little bit of ammonia in and some nitrifying bacteria and just going through the cycle. So I think we're like about 5 weeks or so now. We are going to start planting it because we have no ammonia, no nitrite, and we're starting to get a little bit of nitrate, so the whole tank is cycled. Take the lid off the top. And the filter is working perfectly. So we're going to plant some plants in our little media ball thingies and yeah, do a nice little low light carpet down the bottom. I don't even have the light on this at the moment. So I will turn the light on and be back with a whole lot of plants. And we've jumped again. Our tank is working perfectly. So we have a Cynodonium growing out the top. Let me take the little lid off. And we have some lovely little endlers live bearers in here. So these are like a dwarf guppy. They don't get really any bigger than what you see. We do have a fair few in there, so we'd probably only really recommend about sort of 5 or 6, not like 15 like we've got in here, but we have lots of other tanks, so we can separate them when we need to. We have a lovely little octopus, which has had a few bits and pieces of fun. Bits and pieces of fun, yes, that's what that octopus has had. He's got 8 legs. He needs several bottles. We have planted it with a little bit of Anubias, which is that stuff attached to the rocks. There's a little bit of subwassatang growing around there and on the back wall. And we have some lovely crypt plants. Crypt plants are a low light, easy to grow plant, super hardy. And once their roots get to the bottom substrate layer, they are going to take off and turn into a really cool carpet. Sort of much like what this tank is starting to grow into now. If you haven't seen that tank, there is a video on that, and there'll be a link at the end of this video. But how cool is that back wall? But back to this tank. Okay, everything has been working great for the last sort of 6 or so weeks. Yeah, I can't really find anything wrong with it. So obviously with your water level at the back, you want to make sure that it's not too high so the fish don't go through those little gaps that we mentioned earlier. Otherwise, it's nice and simple. Our plant is growing out the top, our light is on underneath there, which actually lightens up the whole back of the tank. Curved glass, lovely. It'll make a really nice desktop tank for a little office or a kid's room or anything like that. Yeah. Can't really find anything wrong with them. The heater is also neatly sort of snug down the back, so you can't even see that. Hard to even see our rock work, but there it is. It's a little bit easier to see on this angle. Curved tanks are not easy to film, but how cool does that look? That is a really nice tank. Anyway, if you did like this video, click the thumbs up so I know. If you want to see more videos like this, yep, comment down below or click the thumbs up. If you want to see this awesome little tank here, complete with dripping waterfall and really cool Madakas, there will be a link now on the screen. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks heaps for watching.